Hello, Star Citizens, and welcome to another episode. We're going to hop right into it because we got the Drake IronClad Q&A, and I am ready to talk about it because I really need for this to go the way I think it's going to go. All right, let's hop right back into it. All right, Q&A, IronClad by Drake Interplanetary. Run the skies with Drake's Juggernaut, a free enterprise, the mighty IronClad, the armored freighter that takes the risk involved in deep space traversal and transport seriously. It stands as a beacon of intrepid, independent pioneers across the galaxy. We asked the vehicle and gameplay teams a few questions about Drake's new self-sufficient beast capable of meeting anything or anybody standing in your way. Here are the answers straight from the devs themselves. All right. So, what ships are the main competitors of the IronClad and IronClad Assault? It says the Liberator, the Hercules. Those are the closest competitors. The Liberator is a dedicated vehicle transporter, so it excels at that, though its cargo remains relatively exposed. The C2 Hercules are the closest. C2 and M2 are closest on paper, providing enclosed cargo capacity and option for multiple turrets. However, the IronClad Assault beats the latter, while the base IronClad beats the former. So they're basically upgrades to those two, which is, if those are, you're saying those are the closest competitors, why aren't those the loners? I get that the Caterpillar is on brand, but I don't know. Can the IronClad be used as a mini carrier, and what is the biggest ship that could fit through the retractable roof? It can. The IronClad, see? It can be used. However, the cargo bay is designed for cargo metrics, so it doesn't conform to standardized hangar dimensions, with the current maximum dimensions being 40 by 21 by 7.5. Bear in mind, the roof does not retract over the full volume, limiting the maximum length, of course. This may change during production. Okay, so far you can fit 40 by 21 by 7.5, but remember, it's not going to be exactly that because there's going to be like little things that you have to fit through the opening. That's just the hangar size once you get inside. Will the IronClad Assault have a retracting roof like the base version? Yes! The retracting roof is a shared element between the two versions. However, the tractor beam setup is removed, so utility is significantly compromised in the Assault version. We have a retracting roof on the Assault, which seemed very unlikely that it wasn't going to get that, but no tractor beams, unfortunately. I was hoping for both, but that does mean, because it has the retracting roof, I'm going to say the IronClad Assault jumps over the IronClad because, A, we know that we can fit. Now we know we can fit. We can fit at least some version of a ship in there, and we know that it has a retracting roof. So you can take an MPUV tractor with you, and then you'll be able to move anything that an IronClad can move. All right. Will either version have strong VTOL thrusters? Yes, they both will have VTOL thrusters. Is there an armory in the Assault? An armory isn't shown in the Assault cutaway, but during production, we'll be looking for the best place for one, likely in the front central area. So, IronClad, or the Assault, is getting an armory as well. The IronClad Assault has a repair bay as an install feature. Is the bay going to be able to repair more than just vehicles? For example, could it repair ship components? Yes! Yes! Repair facilities are not restricted by type, but more by volume and resources. We'll discuss repair and crafting in more detail in the future, and as its topic more expensive, and it's a topic more expansive than this Q&A. So there you have it, folks. It does not just repair vehicles, it repairs ships. So the Assault just jumped over the IronClad by this much. It's still, now let me be very clear. There is still a major use case for the IronClad, right? It carries way more it carries way more stuff. On top of the fact that it carries way more stuff, it has the three tractor beams, meaning like if you got enough people, you can really load that thing up really fast. So, and don't forget, if I put an MPUV inside of this thing, the MPUV is going to have to go with me unless I just leave it out somewhere and come back and get it, I guess. Which I suppose I could just have one of my crewmates fly it back or something. Or, you know, it doesn't have a jump drive though, so you're going to have to, or a quantum drive, so we'll have to leave it most likely. But yeah, very cool. Let's see. This is awesome because this is what I was hoping it would be. How will the self-destruction feature work in the Ironclad? Can I initiate self-destruction in the command module and detach and fly away, or will the command module also be in self-destruction? There are two independent self-destruct systems. Okay, so command module can self-destruct. Setting it off in the command module will self-destruct both if it's attached, while the main hull of the base can be triggered from the control room. So if you want to do it separate, make sure you detach first. Is the command module shared between the Ironclad and Caterpillar? The command module is compatible between the Ironclad and Caterpillar. However, the Ironclad's module is a slight redesign of the original Caterpillar one, but retains a lot of its features. If you detach the command module, does the Ironclad become a flying brick, or can you still steer it from the ship itself? The Ironclad is exclusively flown from the command module. With it detached, the main hull can no longer fly independently. However, it retains power, cooling, and other functionality like tractor beam control and self-defense, which makes sense because then basically you can fly around command modules and move around each other's, ironclads, which I think is really cool. On top of that, you can kind of leave it on the ground as like a mobile garage, and then you can fly off and do other stuff, and maybe you can set like 3 or 4 of them up next to each other and have all these garages, and it's going to be, that's pretty cool. How will insurance handle the detaching of the command module and loss of the main ship? We're currently working on how insurance will work with the Ironclad. We'll talk more about the subject closer to the ship's flyable release. Will the command module have a quantum drive? Yes, there is a quantum drive aboard the command module to facilitate independent quantum travel. So that means 2 quantum drives, one on the command module and one on the Ironclad's base. Is the ship's heavy armor actually heavy? How is it represented in game, as armor isn't a thing yet in the mechanics? Relative to other ships of its size class, it is heavily armored, and the implementation will be appropriate to the mechanics in place at the time of launch. So it is heavily armored. Okay. So that's what I like to hear that. So it's not going to be something easy to take down. All right. Is the interior turret a tractor beam or a defense turret? The interior turret at the rear of the cargo bay is a defense turret. Confirmation on that. Good to hear. All right. Does the assault have tractor beams? They're listed for the base, but not the assault. No, the assault trades all its tractor beams for more firepower. If you still wish to tractor items around or on board the assault, you should bring either the FPS tractor items or a tractor capable ship, which makes sense. How will gravity in the cargo bay be handled? Will this Fatterpillar have an air shield over the top like the Caterpillar has at the front? For example, if someone is EVAing near the top of the ship to help load cargo, it seems like a great way to fall inside the ship and get a tier 2 broken leg injury. Sounds like a Drake design feature. There is no air shield at the top of the cargo bay. Once opened, it vents to the void of space, and care must be taken in the scenarios listed. There it is. There is your Q&A for the Drake Ironclad. This is game changing. Obviously, if you were hoping for, if you needed to have tractor beams in the assault version, then this would be a problem for you. I actually thought I needed tractor beams in the assault version and realized very quickly that I didn't. I really just needed that top to be able to open so I could take an MPUV with me. Thank you, community, for helping me see the light on that. So yeah, I already had a CCU to an Ironclad assault, so I will be upgrading from an Ironclad to an Ironclad assault. So I have an Ironclad now that will be becoming an Ironclad assault because that roof can open, and it was likely that the roof could open. I think the weird thing we were trying to figure out was whether they would have tractor beams, really, and also whether that garage would be able to repair ships and whether you could actually land a ship in it. And so this Q&A did answer a lot of those questions. Yeah, so as I said in my previous video, I think the one feature that sets the assault apart is that it has that garage, and it can, well, I guess it would be 2 features if you set them as separate, but the garage and the ability to craft components. Like it can it has a component fabricator. So I think that's what kind of sets it apart. Now I have a reclaimer, which also has a component fabricator. So I don't know if those are going to be the exact same type of fabricator, but here's hoping. All right, that's it for this one. I will see you in the next one, which should be coming soon. So peace.